Good morning and welcome to the final of the SavagePro Series. We're here live in Florida for this 7th race, the decider, the mandatory race of the Pro Series for 2023. I'm Francesca Curando. I'm here with the OCR report and I'm joined by
Dustin Duro. It's great to be here, friend. Thank you for having me.
So we have the two races going on today. We've got the men and the women running. As I say, this is the 7th of the 7 races. Currently in the leaderboards, we have a bit of a battle going on with the men in joint first place for the men, both with 399 points. We have Sean Roberts and Ryan Kempson. Now, those two, when they've been racing, it's very often been a very, very close finish. We've seen literally seconds between them on the finish line. They're very, very closely placed athletes.
You were almost guaranteed a very exciting conclusion to the event.
Especially today. This is the decider of the series. Now, for every race, there are prizes for the top 3. But for the series, there's a much bigger payoff. And of course, it's just the athletes have been battling it out all year. They want to be the ones to take home the title.
Absolutely.
So we're going to see one of those two men in first and in second. And then we have Joseph Cotto and Kevin Thompson in 3rd and 4th place with 389 and 382 points. So unlikely we're going to see one of those. Well, I don't think it's possible that we're going to see one of those take the top spot.
Yeah. Oh, no. Based on how the points are structured, I really don't think that is a mathematical possibility, but who knows? Who knows?
Following that, we have Marcus Green, Robbie Gingerich, Ashton Abraham, Gage Hicks, Sam Osborne, and Ian Hosick in the top 10. Surprising to see Ian Hosick in 4th place. He's done 4 races, and actually everyone in this top 10 has done 4 races. He is a very competent athlete. He's also a coach. We saw him last week at World's Toughest Mudder. He performed brilliantly at OCRWC about a month ago, taking 2nd on the 3K, the 15K, and 1st on 2 of the teams.
Oh yeah, and a lot of the athletes that he was coaching did brilliantly at World's Toughest Mudder last week.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's here today, but if he is, no, this is off season for him now. So he said he's going to be taking lots of baths, so we're not going to be seeing him. So in the women's race, in number 1 at the moment is the mighty Chris Rogowski. She has won every single race that she has turned up to. She has 4 races under her belt. It seems everyone who's here today has 4 races. She has easily won every single one of the 4 races she's done. There was one sticky event where she was running in like 3rd or 4th, and we were questioning, has she slightly pushed it too far? Is this going to be a bit too much for her? And she ran her own race, as she does. She wasn't pushed by anyone else. And when everyone else kind of got caught up on one of the technical grip obstacles, she just overtook and she ran a really clean race. She's followed by Alexandra Walker, who has performed consistently. She's taken the top spot when Chris hasn't been here, but Chris is here today. And then in 3rd is Jamie Horonopoulos. Now, is there a chance that Chris couldn't take 1st today?
Not a big one, but there's always a chance. One of the things I've always said about the OCR industry and community is you should never become numb to the miraculous or jaded by the impossible, because this is where that happens.
I mean, for Chris to not take 1st today, she'd have to take 5th.
Yeah. I mean, it could happen. She did run a solid 90 miles at World's Toughest Mudder last weekend, and she's known for, bouncing back quickly after an endurance event especially. But that just opens the door a little bit, or cracks the window, if you want to.
I mean, only for Chris would I say, yeah, she ran 90 miles at a 24-hour event last weekend, but she'll probably still be okay.
Yeah, honestly, you're probably not wrong. I'm only saying that there is a probably single-digit % chance that it could happen. And especially if, after pushing so hard last weekend, maybe there's like a little tweak or something, a small injury that could be exacerbated and lead to a bigger complication in today's event.
Absolutely. So she's followed by Alex Walker, and then in 3rd place is Jamie Horonopoulos, who has been running really, really strong as well. In 4th place is Rachel Watter. She has 388 points, followed by Michelle Cazold, Casey Monroe, Sarah Grippy-Snyder, Jessica Shepherd, Heather Bushter, and Lisa Nondorf. So this is my first time at a Savage race.
Well, welcome to Savage.
Thank you. It's not my first time in Florida, but it is my first time. Here we go. We've got the leaderboard up on the screen. And the weather is quite interesting. Normally I'm watching from home. We've been doing this whole series remotely, which it's really cool. It means we get to give everyone race coverage without having to basically travel a lot, spend a lot of money, but we're still getting that coverage. But
Yeah.
because we were kind of reasonably local in Texas to all stuff, is why we decided to hang around. So this is my first time kind of experienced race day. Oh my God, this weather sucks.
Oh, you're not wrong. Like it is a well-known running joke in Florida that there is no hotter place on earth than stepping directly outside MCO Airport in Orlando, and all of Central Florida is like that. It's like breathing soup.
Oh, here we got Ryan Kempson walking past.
Absolutely stunning place. But
how you feeling, Ryan? He's drying his hands. Yeah, it's pretty sweaty this morning. I wouldn't want to be one of those having to compete in this, but do you know what? I guess they're used to it.
Yeah, well, I got bad news. we're running this afterward.
Yeah, but I don't have to compete.
Yeah, not competing, but still, it's going to be a hot day out there.
All right, so the men are setting off in 5 minutes. Let's take a quick look at the course map and see what they're going to be running today. Just more obstacles for you to get over across. It is a really big map. There's a lot of running going on before the first obstacle, which is Twin Peaks. And Jason mentioned yesterday that it is not a flat course. So, I mean, again, for pretty much every athlete, but Chris, that's going to play out differently.
Oh, absolutely. That's definitely going to lean in her favor. But it is a common statement from athletes who have done this course, because I've been to Savage a good number of times, and especially this event and this course. The number of times I've heard athletes say, "Where did you find the only hills in Florida?"
So low crawl is the third obstacle. Squeeze play, number 4. They've got some fun names here, and what I quite like about Savage is their mixture of obstacles that they kind of pull on for every event. They don't just have the same obstacles each time. They have a bank of obstacles that they pull out. Yep. Sawtooth, that is a big old rig. I'm looking forward to giving that.
That's their original legendary obstacle.
Sorry. What's so proudly we hid at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rockets red, and the bombs bursting in air, came through the night, that our flag was still. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of and the home of the brave? To the start line. So with the national anthem, they are getting the men lined up on the start line, ready to set off in just a few minutes.
Yep,
we're getting our rabbits in place.
Yep, that was Jeff Meeks sending all of the competitive men over there to the starting line. Oh, you can see Ron, the start line announcer, making his way over there, so we should be getting things underway very shortly. But yeah, as you were saying, like, Savage is a really, really fun, cool, and unique event because they have kind of a unique system for how they set it up and keep things running. They pick their venues in multi-year agreements so that they can come out, build some of their biggest obstacles as permanent standalone structures, and then come back in and switch it up with a lot of the things that can be taken down, moved around, and that travels with them around the country. And not only does that lend itself to designing a cool, fun, unique, and challenging course, but it also keeps costs lower so they can keep prices lower for the racers and really dedicate themselves to the racer experience, which is one of the things I appreciate about this brand so much.
This isn't the first time they've been in Florida.
No, they are based out of Florida. This is their hometown race. In fact, the first race I ever worked with them was their event at the old venue in Claremont back in 2016, October. They begin and they end their race seasons here in Florida. And that's one reason this is such a big event for them.
But this is the first time they've had one of the Pro Series races here.
Yes.
So that's Joe. We can see on the start line. The screen is a little bit slow, so I do apologise if I'm not giving accurate feedback on what's happening. My screen keeps kind of glitching a little bit, so we're not always up to speed. Ryan there, hoping to see him. Sean next to him. They are the top two men today that are battling out. Really, the competition is between these two.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know I love the women. I'm always obsessed with what the women are doing.
Absolutely.
I probably talk about them a little bit too much.
No such thing. No such thing.
But we are more likely to be seeing the really exciting action happening between those two men, Sean and Ryan, as it is kind of between those for first place. So the cash payouts for the single events, they're off. They are off.
Oh.
You see the payouts for the single events. You get $12.50 for first, second is $7.50, and third is $3.50. And then for the series, it bumps it up to $3,000 for first, $1,500. Third place is $7.50, $500, $250. And that's something Savage have done this year. They've increased the prize pocket, which people are really happy with. You know, the athletes work really hard, and they deserve to earn well for the work they put in.
Absolutely. And I know that the staff and management at Savage has been just as excited to be able to offer those bigger payouts.
So we go, the men are off. I mean, it's looking quite flat so far, but you know this ground quite well.
Oh, absolutely.
What are we expecting to see here?
Well, I mean, you can think about the ground the same way you think about the weather here. If it's one thing that you're expecting, give it a minute, it will be the exact opposite.
I mean,
soon.
20 minutes ago it was misty, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and now
it was
bright sunshine.
Yeah, it was misty. It was a bit chilled, but somehow warm at the same time. And out there, yeah, it's looking flat, but you will very soon find some rolling hills, some water, and who knows, maybe there's an alligator obstacle.
Okay. I'm not a big fan of the alligators. He keeps teasing me about them being there. Every body of water we've been past, I'm like, are they alligators? And he's like,
I mean, if there is water and it's in Florida, there's going to be a gator in it somewhere.
Fun. That's a way to stay out of the water obstacles, isn't it? Don't fail Sawtooth. There may be a gator sitting in there waiting
This is
for
a great time to remind everyone, they signed a waiver.
So you lost our commentary for a moment there as we just rebooted things here on site, but you've had the picture still going. So these are the men heading off. See if we can get them from the front so we can see what's happening out in the field. You know, also we've got the men heading off.
Oh yeah, there
shortly.
we go. Still a bit too far away for us to see exactly who that is.
Well, that looks like Ryan and Sean leading the pack, pretty much neck and neck, with someone quite close behind them. I am always so grateful that I don't have to rabbit. One, because I'm really unfit, and two, it just sounds really stressful dealing with, you know, if your phone goes for a second, if your gimbal goes for a second.
Oh, absolutely.
I think I could handle the pressure.
I have rabbited one time in my life, and it was so much more stressful than I anticipated.
We also have the lovely Jack Goris here with us today, taking pictures. I would say the best photographer in OCR.
And I would also go so far as to say the handsomest.
Here we go. Ryan and Sean in front. We're 4 minutes in. So everything could change, but these two are absolutely going to be battling out. It's been some really fun finishes. We have literally seen, coming off an obstacle, a sprint finish between these two. I think it was that race, Sean won, and you saw Ryan just sliding across the finish line, desperately trying to get that first place. We are seeing in the last 2 years, I'd say, more and more of these kind of photo finishes. They're really exciting. It just kind of shows that the athletes are really gaining on each other and just how competent they are and how the competition is improving constantly.
Absolutely. The athletes are really bringing up to an almost unheard of level of obstacle competence and athleticism.
Indeed, and I say this every race that I cover, but I will keep saying it. The athletes are expected to perform at a pro level while still having day-to-day jobs. They might be coaches, so they're still working in the sport, or they might be, Tyler Verman as a delivery driver.
That's exactly what I was thinking, because, and what a great job for someone who does this kind of sport, having to basically do carries all day long.
I don't think they're heavy carries, though.
Hey, a lot of them are.
But yeah, these athletes, they are performing better and better and better. Here we go. Twin Peaks, obstacle number 1. They've got there incredibly quickly.
This is a Savage classic, and it is always so much fun to watch the athletes go through this.
They're just flying through that.
Absolutely.
I wish I'd had a chance to try Savage before this final race. I know we're going to do it after this race, but just to have a feel of how difficult these obstacles are.
Yeah, I haven't seen obviously I haven't been on course for this one, so I don't know exactly all the places that they're going through, but this venue has the potential to have a lot of different types of ground and terrain, not just in the way of hills and elevation change, but hard packed with grass or very sandy surfaces, kind of like that little road that they're running on there. And the strategy for running in those two different kinds of terrain, drastically different.
Yeah, absolutely. That was something we spoke about last weekend at the World's Toughest Mudder, was the terrain and how each different iteration has been impacted by the terrain.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing by moving around the races. This is always a conversation that we have. Obstacle number 2, block party. This is a conversation that we always have regarding standardization of races, that you can have the same obstacles, but you can't make the races standard because terrain will always change. Unless you're going to put it on a indoor track with a certain type of atmosphere and weather condition and temperature, it's never going to be fully standardized.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that makes the sport great. I think that the brands who really lean into taking advantage of the terrain to give a unique, fun, and challenging event, I think they're the ones who really stand out as top quality.
Sean's got quite a hefty lead there already.
Yeah.
We did see a male in third place quite close behind. My screen is being impacted by the sun quite a lot, so I didn't pick up on who that was just yet, but we will soon. I'm kind of, if you could see me, which I don't want you to, I've kind of got my arm draped over the screen trying to create some shade, because even though it's 8 in the morning here, gosh, it is sunny and warm, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And we are over here doing all of the weirdest head movements and positions to try to... Oh, there are absolutely alligators in there. 1,000%.
That is terrifying. So they're not going to put them through that, right?
One would hope not. And if they do have to go through there and they see an alligator, congratulations, guys, on your new PR. That is going to be a new speed record for you.
Sean has such a lovely running gait. You're pointing out number 1. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, Sean, really strong runner.
Yeah, absolutely.
And his obstacles have been incredible as well. Between him and Ryan. Ryan, also an incredible OCR athlete. Between the two of them, there's very little to pick. But yeah, Ryan is already dropping back a fair
yeah,
bit.
well, I mean, the way this course is generally laid out, the beginning is very much a sprinter's course. So people can make it out really easily, and he may just be pacing himself because he knows just how many obstacles are coming up. Because looking at that map, there is a major concentration. And
we've got basically a lot of running, and then it runs round and round and round the event village with a ton of obstacles coming up, all one after the other.
Yeah, and for anybody who's looking at the course map online, it's important to note that Savage has 2 race distances. They have the full Savage and they have the Savage Blitz, which is a shorter course with less obstacles that the pro athletes do not compete on, but it's something that people race on later in the day. And if you do both, you get a medal for what is called the Savage Syndicate. So the competitive weight is going around on the blue course on the map. You're looking at that.
I mean, the only problem, I like running less because, you know, despite loving the sport, quite lazy. But Sawtooth is on Savage Race.
So
I just like I'm doing race.
Oh no, that's absolutely on purpose.
Look at that running.
Yeah, no, that is a perfect gait, perfect stride. That is, any running coach would see that and be very proud.
So the high concentration of obstacles towards the end is also going to play strongly in Chris's favor when it comes to the women. We saw her a few races ago. She'd had a really busy weekend, and she'd come to Savage on the red eye. There we go, Ryan in second. And we were questioning, you know, had she pushed it a bit far? And then it got to one of the obstacles, one of the brick obstacles over water. She just sailed through. She's really cool, calm, and collected. Just Chris running her own race as she always does.
Yeah.
And yeah, taking first place really easily. I say easily, that doesn't mean to be insulting of how hard she works. I'm not saying she doesn't have to put the effort in, but she just...
I feel like that's stock and trade of anyone who is such a high-level athlete. Like, there's no way to ignore or discount all of the effort, the time, the sacrifice that they've put in and made for what they do, but all of that makes it possible to do it and make it look easy, even though it definitely was not. And yeah, you never know when there's going to be first place coming through. And yeah, you never know when there's going to be an upset finish like that. Like, one of my favorite stories from working in obstacle racing for the past 13 years was the Palmerton, Pennsylvania Spartan Race 2014, when they had their slip wall near the end of the race, and Jun Young Pak was coming down in first place on the ladder side of the slip wall. And I can't remember who came through, but he was just not having it. He sprinted up that wall and just jumped off the top over Pak, did a dive roll.
Obstacle 4 of 38 today. They're pulling out the bag for the final race. I mean, you see that, but what happened at the 3K at OCRWC last month?
I was at the start line. I didn't get to see.
Alrighty. So in the women's race on the 3K, it was between Nicole and Lindsay was in front. And on the final obstacle, meters from the finish line, which was a A-frame cargo net, Nicole rolled over the top and beat Lindsay by seconds. Like, this is what I'm saying, we're seeing this happen. We saw it happen in Europe a couple of times. We've seen it at these races. We're seeing these really close finishes with seconds between them. Athletes scrambling to the finish line. Every time it happens, I'm like, that's my new favorite. We're getting ready for the women who are lining up. This is where it gets fun when we get both races going on at the same
absolutely.
time. All right, here we've just got a little discount code for you, 25% off not to be sniffed at, Florida, March 2nd, November 2nd, 2024. That expires on the 24th of November, so get signed up for next year, FLF23. There we go, Ryan.
And Savage is pretty true to their word on they will not be offering bigger discounts later. This is the early bird price. This is what it will be as its lowest, and it's definitely a great deal. So be sure. I
have a really bad habit of signing up to races really, really late and paying exorbitant costs. Don't do that.
Yeah,
sign up early. And this is a great course. Like, I've loved watching the Savage Series this season. There we go, picture in picture. We see Jamie. She's our athlete, currently sitting in 3rd place at the moment for the women. Jamie is 3 points behind Alex. Could Jamie take second? Again, really unlikely unless Jamie came in first or second and Alex came in quite low down. So for that to happen, it would have to be something bad happening to Alex. And we don't want that. We don't want anything bad to happen.
No, not at all.
Chris standing there, nicely wearing Brassing, Rogloski, always helpful. Chris and Jamie very often wearing very, very similar clothing.
Yeah. Well, part of me wonders if the athletes out there in that blue are wearing it because that is the exact color of Savage Race, or if they just like it a lot.
The picture's a little bit
pixelated.
Alex. I always like to try and pick everyone out before the race starts.
Oh, there we go. That's a clear shot.
new obstacles from both of them. Don't sweat it. 2 overs, 1 under, nothing complicated, right? Just some additional work for you to do, that's all. Palmer, let's do it.
So I've kind of said all series. I really like it when the athletes make my job easy and wear distinctive clothing.
Yes.
Chris and Jamie often dress the same. Chris has the tattoos, which are very easy to pick out. Alex is all in black today, which is less easy for me. You know, it's all about me.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. That is why we are all here. We are all here for Francesca Durando, and we thank you for making this event possible. Thank you, Fran.
Yeah, I'm very selfish. But
Absolutely.
anyway, so there we go. We were just picking out who's who on the start line. Sometimes it pixelates a little bit. We were saying last weekend, it's funny how you can eventually start to just recognize athletes by their gait rather than anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some athletes who just have a completely distinctive gait. He hasn't been in the sport for a long time, but Elliot McGuire, who used to be one of the top Spartan athletes in the early days of the sport, he had a very, very unique gait that you could tell who he was from across the field in the dark.
I'd say the same with John Albon, but I always mention John Albon. There we go.
All right, the ladies are off.
At a pace.
We did not plan to say that at the same time, but here we are.
Well, Alex isn't all in black. She has burgundy shorts.
And they're starting
I'm running
strong.
She's running strong.
You know, I looked at you because I said the exact same thing.
Oh.
Again.
Wow, we are useful commentators.
Yeah, we really are. We're just over here sharing that one brain cell.
It really is one.
What's those?
So Chris is sitting in fourth there. We've seen her do this before. She doesn't necessarily have to take off in first place and be in first place for much of the race to end up taking first. It must be a bit of a mind game running against Chris. We never know how she feels. I know she's capable of pushing herself really hard. She has the mental game up that, and she is capable of pushing through what a lot of people are not. But nobody ever knows, you know, what she's going through. And the question could be, she did 90 miles at World's Toughest Mudder last weekend. Is she able to do, you know, she was already gone by Monday morning. We know she was back at work.
Oh,
she's a nanny. She's looking after kids all week.
Yeah.
And then she's back here. Question being, how hard can I push to beat Chris? Can I beat Chris? And it's not going to win the series for Alex, but I know for her, it would be a big win just to win this final race. But Chris doesn't really let anything slip.
No.
And she's just going to run. She almost cuts everyone else out and just runs her own race.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you have to do. And I think that it's a good sign of a great athlete when they are able to do that and plan for what they know their body is going to need at the different stages of the event and not just take the temptation to sprint into first place and try to hold it the whole time. I mean, we kind of saw that at World's Toughest last weekend with Michael Schutt, who he was blazing through the course. He had a full lap lead, and he realized he had just pushed too hard, and he stopped and took a nap. Then he came back and went second place.
If you didn't see that, I mean, it's a very, very long coverage, but the OCR report coverage is broken up into, I think it's 3 lots. Catch the final segment of that where Michael comes out from the pit and then goes from, like, I think he was in 5th up to 2nd or 4th up to 2nd.
He took a 3-hour, 16-minute break and still came back to 2nd.
I think it'd be really interesting to see, you know, obviously athletes compete against each other. It'd be interesting to take someone like Chris and put her by herself and see what she did. Because again, like to say she has that kind of mental capacity to just block everyone out. I know you say, you know, it's essential that people do that, but it's not easy to do that.
No.
I can't do it. I'm always looking at everyone around me and what they're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like that's one of that. You know what? That's the only reason I could never be a competitive OCR athlete. Not because I am bad at running.
I am.
Yeah. No, I'm horrible at running. I was pretending to be arrogant. No, I could not do this. But yeah, I would definitely feel the temptation to constantly be looking over my shoulder, seeing how much space I had. And those who can just zone out and do their thing. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And I kind of wish that there was the time and opportunity to see how these athletes would do just running on their own with like a few minutes between them at the start line so that they don't have anyone around. It's all done by timing chip. So they know they just have to push as hard as they can because there's no way to gauge whether or not someone's catching up to them. I wonder how different the end results would be in that kind of situation.
So you say this course gets very kind of obstacle heavy towards the end. We've got a lot of running for the first section, and then we get to the village. It'll be interesting to see what happens when those obstacles start to get heavy. Sawtooth, big technical grip obstacle. The women tend to do that pretty well. It was my map's quite small here. I've got my little laptop in front of me. It was one over water that they struggled with, and again, that's going to impact mentally when you are running this, final race of the series, running a big competition, knowing that you've had an obstacle that cost you first place in the past. What's going to happen when you get there?
Yeah.
So here we go. We've got the men at Sawtooth. Obstacle 7 of 38. The men have already done 31 obstacles.
That is.
Get the camera on them. This is
There
a
we go.
nice obstacle.
Oh, it really is.
There we go. Sean, we are presuming he is still in first. Really, really going through that so nicely.
Yeah, just like his running, great form on that, keeping the angles keeping the elbows near 90 degrees, and just making quick work of the Sawtooth.
I'm really excited to try Sawtooth, but I know I won't be able to do it.
Oh, I'm definitely going to go swimming. I am very aware that I am going to fall.
Now, we're assuming that Sean was still in first, but if that's the case, Ryan is nowhere to be seen behind us.
Yeah. Yeah, Sawtooth here at Savage, that was basically the original elevated monkey bar in the American obstacle racing industry.
That is not Ryan. It's not Ryan. No, it's not Joseph, who's in third. Oh, there's Ryan.
Oh, we got a lot more coming through now.
Ryan in fourth currently? Is that Joseph in third? And is that Noah Busher, I'm going to say, there in fifth? Noah, great athlete. He is 18, I think. He's young. He's very young. And he turned up to Savage a couple of months ago and took the course by storm. So Twin Peaks is the first obstacle for the women. I thought that was a woman sliding back down the other side.
Oof. You do not want to slide back down on Twin Peaks. It has those boards going all the way across for foot placement, and that would not be nearly as fun as a standard warp wall to slide back down.
So it looks like it's Alvaro in second is what we're seeing, and I'm getting that from the comments on YouTube, so thanks, guys.
And the rabbits are back in the UTV, getting some great footage for us. Signal's coming through a little bit weak, so it's pixelated, but we will do our best to figure out who's who and keep you updated as best we can.
So someone was asking about the women. We were seeing Alex, Jamie, and Chris in third, but as we've discussed a few times, Chris kind of does her own thing and tends to kind of pull it out when she needs to. So I would be more kind of concerned with what's going on with the men currently, the placement of the men, than the placement of the women, how that's going to be impacted. So there we go.
Yep.
We've got Alex in first, Jamie in second, unless Chris has already come through. If she has, again, is this another bit of a surprise with not seeing who we're expecting? I'm not seeing a Chris.
Look just how quick that block is flying back with Jamie pulling on it like that.
Well, we've not seen Chris yet, so could it be that she's overtaken already?
Maybe.
That's crazy.
We're just going to start putting air tags on everybody.
I know. I wish there was a better way to track people.
Yeah. But with how remote so many of these locations are, it wouldn't do much better than the cameras would.
No, but they might be better than my eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, mine are struggling with this. Even pixelated, this is such a gorgeous venue.
It is.
Really, really is. It's quintessential Central Florida.
Quintessential. I never think of that word being used for anything other than the UK. doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
$15,000. The prize purse. Yay.
Alex. Oh, let's check in with that weather, because I can tell you it is feeling really sticky. What's this like for the athletes? Hot. 22.8 degrees centigrade, but it's the humidity.
Yeah, let's look at the humidity there. 100%, and somehow that feels like an understatement.
Casey Monroe in third currently. Where is Chris? So normally in the UK, what we worry about is wet, damp weather, which makes it really difficult on obstacles. But what I'm feeling here is you can still have damp obstacles and feel damp without it being freezing cold, because this humidity is crazy. And that in itself really adds to what's going on.
Running in Florida is racing in a sauna. Is how it is here.
I gotta say though, I much prefer this to California a couple of weeks ago. I found that so dry. I'm used to living in a very damp area. I can't.
That's fair.
I can't cope.
I personally prefer California, but that's my favorite place in the U.S.
There we go. Alex still really strong in first. She took a strong lead, and we were kind of like, oh, is she running out too fast? But she's holding on to it so far. And if Chris doesn't have it in her legs today, and let's be honest, unless she comes in 5th place, she's still going to take first in the series. She doesn't need to take first today. There we go, there's Ryan. She doesn't need to take first today to take first in the series.
Yeah, but you know she wants it.
Oh, of course she wants it. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, she's excellent at playing the tortoise and the hare game. Absolutely excellent. I mean, to call her a tortoise is...
I mean, she's also excellent at just winning outright.
Yeah, I mean, like, she's the tortoise and the hare if the tortoise were also ungodly fast.
Sling ring. So this was one of the new obstacles for this year. It was caused a few problems at the start with the first kind of tries, and then they changed up how it works.
Yeah, you know, after doing this obstacle, most athletes could be described as tired.
Oh my god.
Yep. You don't have to hang out with me. Yeah, you do.
There we go.
I love that Savage utilizes the natural installation, well, not the natural, the already existing installations at their events to turn them into an obstacle, like the roll under the fence there.
We saw a really nice water obstacle a couple of races ago where it was a river crossing. It was a bit more intense than I think anyone was expecting. And that shot Sean back quite a few places.
Really?
He was kind of leading right at the front of the pack, and then, it lost him a bit of space going through first. There was all the weeds, and he caught up, but it's nice to see natural obstacles like that. Yeah. Changing things rather than it just being manufactured obstacles, which for me, with what I know about original OCR and what OCR was, the natural terrain is a lot of competition.
Yeah. But with natural obstacles like that, I do wonder just how fair it makes things for the competitors, because of things like the story I was telling you the other day of the Bone Frog Championships in 2014, where Joshua Fiore, who came in 4th place at World Cup Sputter last week, he was the winner, but when he crossed the finish line, his arms were covered in blood because it was so cold that he had to break through the ice on all of the water crossings. And he's the one who had to put in that effort, but every athlete behind him benefited from it because they had a clearer course to go through.
So, Thomas Peterson, thank you for watching. You're always watching. Isn't this race a tiebreaker? If so, Alex first, Chris fourth would lose the series. Well, not the series, she'd come second, but if Alex came first and Chris came fourth, they would tie. And then I don't know what happens if they were tying, but Chris had to come 5th for her to come second in the series.
Yeah. I really hope that there's some kind of really interesting tiebreaker. Like, oh, you both tied? Okay, now go do the blitz course.
It's so great to be here in person. I'm so happy to see Savage race and what it is. There's Ryan. Oh, that looks like a heck of a hoist. Just having a few headphone issues as I'm getting distracted as I'm talking. I apologize if I'm not making much sense.
Yeah. Not only can we hear ourselves, but there's like a 3-second delay.
These men are running really, really tightly together. They are out to win this event. It doesn't really matter for them that it's the final of the series. It's not like, well, if I don't win this, I'm not going to win, therefore I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
It's still always a competition. You can't take that away from the athletes.
Yeah, in fact, I think the ones who don't necessarily have a chance at taking the Pro Series top spot, this is a day where they're going to push even harder because this is their chance to win one event, even if they don't take the overall season.
I mean, we've had athletes turn up to these races. VJ Jones has run, Rylan has run, Leon has run. And even though they're only doing one event in the series, they're still pushing for the win on the event that they're running. It's not like, oh, I'm not going to win, therefore I don't care.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, especially if you're only doing one event, you can't turn up and not try your best.
Oh, see, Alex, still super strong. Taped up a little bit.
How must it feel to be so fast that the only way for people to keep up to you is to have a vehicle?
One of my favorite stories of John running was at Tough Guy 2014 or 2013, I don't remember. And he was like way ahead in the field, but passing perpendicularly.
Okay.
And he had a 4x4 going alongside him, filming him. And everyone was like, "Go, John! Hi, John!" And he was just casually waving as he strode across. I would love to see him race again, see how he performed against these athletes.
Honestly, that's how it was with Michael Schutt last weekend. We had a hard time in the truck keeping up with him.
So you can't see this screen, but I've just we've got all the cameras here that we can see on the screen. It looks like Brian's still in second place.
Mm-hmm.
We just had him pointed out with two fingers pointing up, so it looks like this is Ryan there in second.
Anybody here doing the blitz? Savage blitz, you know your distance, right? 9 points.
Back to the women.
3.2, a little bit longer than a 5K. 3.2 for the blitz.
Really far ahead lead for we're looking at Alex and Jamie, I think there. I can't see anyone behind them and catching up to the man. I kind of feel like with the men and women, because I've got a bit of a thing about women having to overtake men in obstacles, and it bothers me. We've seen it at Savage. This isn't a criticism of Savage Race because they work really hard to stop it, but we've seen on the more narrow obstacles the difficulty women have getting a lane and them actually having to wait, and it's not fair. I don't think anyone competing. Oh, there's a puppy. I don't think anyone competing should have to waste any race time whatsoever, and the guys should move out of the way. Obviously, because this is, this happens at other events. It shouldn't happen so much anymore now at Spartan with the new competitive wave. OCWC, everyone who's in the elite wave has qualified to get there, and a lot of men get overtaken. But by that, it's not such a big deal as this, and the obstacles tend to be quite wide.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
I kind of feel like,
accommodations made.
but the races should almost be like the top men and women, and then the second tier men and women.
Well, yeah, I mean, like a seating system.
Yeah.
I don't see any problem with that. I think that is fair. That is equitable, and I have a hard time imagining that anyone could have a solid argument against it.
So like top 10 and top 10,
yeah,
and then remainders competitive.
Yeah, and put like a bit of a gap between them, kind of like you do at OCRWC.
And you might say, well, you might say for the men that come after the top 10, is that fair? Because are they gonna have a chance to move up? Well, it's as fair for you as it is for the women who are running after the men, who then have to overtake people. So if you're not going to be overtaking people,
absolutely. I mean, like even in the big races where there is like an upset, an unknown comes in and just demolishes the field. They've
got as much of a chance to do it as the women do.
Absolutely. When
they're running second.
Absolutely.
So I'm curious when they hit this big thing of obstacles, how it shakes up, says Corey Edwards. Absolutely. So we have an awful lot of running, and then a big chunk of obstacles. And I'm wondering, they should be behind us. Oh, what are we seeing behind us?
Oh, we are seeing some. We're seeing some of the men coming through, I think.
What obstacles are these that we're seeing? We've literally just turned around to have a look. That's a chunk of men together. They are not the men that we're looking for, as in the front pack. So I guess we've already kind of missed the front leaders between us.
Seems like.
Here's Alex crossing Alligator Pond. Yeah, so how is that going to mix things up? We will. We've been discussing that and how it's going to change things. Thomas says I think the gap is too big already for Sean to lose. By lose, do we mean come second? Because I always say that, and then I feel bad. Conversely, everything can change for the women. Absolutely, I completely agree with you. It looks like Sean and Ryan are so well matched. For Sean to have this bigger gap already, it's unlikely for anything to change massively. But Chris has a good history of just pulling it out the bag when she needs to. And Corey says, I guaranteed Chris will come out of nowhere in the women's race at some point. Yeah, I agree. She will. Shell says, getting chicked. Yep, these men are absolutely getting chicked.
There is a term I have
not heard
in
in
a long time.
like 9 years or something.
Yeah, probably. But I mean, you know what they say? Some girls chase boys, OCR women pass them. And in addition to the women's athleticism, like one of the things I love most about the women elites, the women pros, is it is rare that I've seen a group with such an abundance of sportsmanship as well. Kind of like we saw at OCRWC where we had the seeding system. And some of the women purposely and voluntarily gave up their spot.
Second place, Ryan.
Because they thought someone else deserved to be in the top 10 more.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because I did those seedings.
Yeah.
And I placed people in a position where I felt they should be. And I asked you who changed, and you couldn't actually tell me who swapped.
No.
And I feel like that's a very female thing to do, to kind of go, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. You're better than me. And I think, women should, if they've been given an opportunity, should trust in it. You would not get men doing that.
No, but I think that's why I like the women.
I want women to be pushier. Which is one of the reasons why I talk about them so much. I'm looking behind us. I'm kind of getting distracted turning around because I'm waiting to see the women come through right behind us. I mean, we are talking like 70 meters behind us. We can see the course. And then we've got that rig.
Yeah.
Which that looks really fun. I shouldn't really say this because I'm not an athlete who's been running, but I'm super tired today. But I am really excited to try out this course. So we're looking, it looks like those obstacles that they're coming over, obstacles number, I can't zoom in, can't be obstacle 11. So the men have started on the loop of the festival village. This is a very tough guy style race. Did I tell you, tough guy? Yeah.
Wow.
But what I mean by that is a long run and then a heavy concentration of obstacles going round and round and round, which is actually going to be really, really good for media coverage because everything's so close together. You can hop from one obstacle to the next.
Yeah, with all the obstacles right here back close to the festival area, this is going to be a very spectator-friendly course.
I kind of wish we were in the middle of the obstacles.
Yeah.
That would be super cool, wouldn't it? It's really nice to be seeing this kind of series race. Things changed a bit this year. Spartan brought out the 3K series, which a lot of athletes travel to, including the final in Mexico, which happened a week after OCRWC. But that's very different to this longer. Looks like we've lost the other pictures for the minute, but we'll bring them back as soon as we can because you're not interested in our face. There we go. The 3K series is very, very different to these longer races.
Yeah.
It's really nice that athletes have this opportunity to compete like this here. Tree hugger, 30 of 38. We're already at 30 of 38. My goodness, how can we be?
I always worry when I see someone slide down.
I saw the pro women clock up there. That confused me for a second. So I had 15 minutes onto that. Do some quick math. 38.
38. Well done.
I got really worried that the men had done 30 obstacles in 23 minutes, and I was like, holy macaroni, what's happening?
They're out there on dirt bikes, just no one told us.
Sean. You got this.
Nope. There's a rig behind us that looks exactly like the rig Sean is on, but it was not. It's so much more exciting getting to be here in person and see the race and see what's going on.
Good job, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm really glad you're actually able to come out here and join us in person for a Savage event.
Yeah, you're a big fan of Savage, and
Absolutely. I think they're one of the best events in the industry.
these little mini cheese boards, they look nasty.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go, Joe.
Still seeing
Yeah, Savage really pulls out all
Sean
the
and
stops.
Ryan in first and second for the men. Here we go, Sawtooth, Alex, looking really strong.
Yeah, like I was
Followed
saying
by
before,
Jamie. We can see her just there.
Oh, yeah, I see her back there. Sawtooth was pretty much the very first style of monkey bars that was a major innovation in obstacle racing back in
When
like
was that?
2014.
2014. So this wasn't the obstacle that changed it all for the women a couple of races ago, but it's not dissimilar.
Yeah.
It might be. I mean, I should remember this, but I don't. It's not dissimilar. Just imagine what's going through their heads as they come up to this obstacle. You know, they've run really hard, 25 minutes in. We're coming up to the kind of festival area where the obstacles get heavy.
Yeah.
This could be the point. They don't know how far behind the other women are, how far Chris is. This could be the point that changes things. The focus and the mental game that's needed to get through that obstacle, to not rush it, but to get through it strong. Because the problem is, once you fail an obstacle once, it gets just harder and harder to do it each time. And these races, there's not really the opportunity to fail an obstacle. If you're going to be failing it, you're pretty much losing your position. And the pros shouldn't really be failing obstacles. She says, knowing she can't do them herself.
Oh yeah, no, I am going to fail almost every obstacle today. I will be lucky to make it back to the parking lot without tripping. But I mean, as we saw last week, it's hard to keep track of what position you actually are in, which is why we saw Joshua Fiore cross the
Jamie
finish line.
really close behind Alex here. She's running up there, really not far behind. These are, I mean, this obstacle is colossus.
Yeah.
I mean, literally.
Oh, it is. The cameras, the picture, the video, it does zero justice.
Is this an obstacle that stays here?
Yes.
Okay, because I was going to say this is a big obstacle for the
Yeah,
building.
if you see one that's like a very large wooden structure like that, that is probably going to be a permanent installation. And then the things that use the aluminum truss systems that are easy to put up, take down, relocate, those are the ones that get shipped around the country on the Savage trucks. But yeah, Savage's habit of booking venues with a multi-year deal really allows them to elevate the style of obstacles that they bring in and keep here permanently. And they will basically come in year to year and maybe do repairs, but more often than not, they do upgrades to what already exists, and they just make it spectacular.
I feel like it's a very kind of British style of racing to have these permanent courses and the wooden. The large wooden structures. We've had that a lot in the UK over the years, and we've got some of the most successful races are the permanent venues.
Oh,
they can just keep building and building on what they've got, and it's great because.
Let's go, Ryan.
Oh, look at this. It's Ryan. Seems to be gaining on Sean from what we can tell. Woof. Really nice. So comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, I love the grip obstacles. Can't do them, but they're great. But I love the mixture of obstacles. I don't want to just see OCR, and it did for a while. Just go towards. That's Joe, I think, in third place. Which would not be a surprise. He's currently sitting third in the series.
And we got legendary OCR photographer Jack Goris in there.
Yeah, I want to get There's Sean. So we made it through rig 3. Rig 3 is just a bunch of rigs.
Some war coverage.
He is, indeed.
Yeah.
He's had a GoFundMe going. I'm not sure if it is still going, but he's been raising money for protective equipment because it's a personal trip going with Finnish medics
Yeah.
to support people out there.
And it's only a personal trip because most news outlets no longer sponsor or send correspondents in there to get coverage because the insurance won't cover them. So photographers have to go in on their own and then hope somebody buys the
Pictures.
story after.
So Shell says Jamie is looking amazing and Walker is so strong. Absolutely, both of them are really doing so well. We just had a clip there where we lost. There we go. We're back. Alex is really looking strong today. She's gone from strength to strength this season. It must be really difficult. Oh my gosh, look at Sean. So strong. So strong. It must be really hard running against somebody like Chris. And I know the two of them have kind of had a competition between them, both coming from Texas and racing against each other in the early days. Oh, we just had Ryan go behind us.
Oh, nice.
But she's never stopped. She's never let Chris's capabilities squash her and go, I can't do this. It's just pushed her harder and harder. And I'm really impressed by that because Chris is something quite ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Two leaders on the screen, men and the women, both running. And there we go. Men's crossing the finish line.
Wow, already.
Are we? Have we crossed? We're coming to the finish. Here we go.
Oh, nice.
So we're just looking to our right. We should see him running along. The finish line is just there. There we go. Wow. Sean Roberts crossing the finish line in first, winning the series for the men. So Sean has just won himself not only the $3,000 for the entire series, but an extra $1,250 for winning the race today. So it's been a productive 45 minutes for that man.
Absolutely.
There we go. Oh, this will be Alex just behind us, coming over these blocks.
Oh, yeah, we can see our rabbits coming through with their camera set up.
There she
So this will be our
goes.
first chance to get really front row seats to the happenings here.
Oh, that is confusing because there's a woman there, but I'm guessing Blitz must have taken off.
That looks like Horianopolis.
No, the woman sitting on top of the obstacle.
Oh, sitting on top.
And there we go. Just missed Ryan coming through in second as we were distracted by the women. Ryan looking absolutely beat. And Joe. Is that Joe? Joseph Cotto. In third, so that is the top three men. Sean Roberts, Ryan Kempson, and Joe Cotto, which incidentally is also going to be the finish, as far as I'm aware, of our top three for the series final. We had Sean and Ryan coming into this final race neck and neck on 399 points, with Joe in third place. I wonder if Ryan is questioning why he didn't come for the last event. Jamie. We've not had eyes on Chris for a while.
Yeah, I have not seen her.
Normally by now we'd kind of be expecting her to be pulling it out the bag a bit. We kind of came into this race saying the unthinkable would be Chris taking fifth and not winning the series. But right now we have not had eyes on her in a long time.
Really hoping she didn't manage an injury up
there. Corey Edwards says, great camera shot, Jason Dupree. Got Jason producing today. Great camera shot. Did Jamie take the lead? As far as I'm aware, no. As far as I'm aware, it's still... Oh, yes, Jamie has taken the lead. Here we go. Coming through on this obstacle, Jamie is just ahead with Alex, just behind. Wow. Can she hold that? Have we seen Jamie? Jamie has been in third place for every race except for the previous event in Dallas, where she came in second.
Only a bit
Jamie has beaten Alex in Ohio. She came third and Alex came fourth. Just checking, but other than that, we're hearing that Roboski is in third place with Jamie and Alex battling for first.
Well, they're only halfway through the number of obstacles, so there's still a lot that can change.
So if Jamie wins, she'll get 100 points, but that would take her to 494 points. Alex came second. She ran 496 points, so she would still win the race. She should still win the series, sorry.
Yeah.
We'd love to see where Chris, Rachel, and Casey are. Yep, I know. We have the cameras out there. We're trying to kind of get as many pictures as we can. Chris has had a heavy season. She races a lot. She doesn't really let back. It's kind of like every event is an A race for her.
Yeah.
And a lot of athletes have already gone into off-season. If they hadn't done it before World's Toughest Mudder was their final race before the off-season. So that she's still competing. There we go. Number 4, Chris Rogoski, currently in number 4, which is a surprise. If she drops one more place and finishes in 5th, she will not win the series. But where she currently is, she can win the series. Now, obviously, there are payouts for today and for the series. If she was in 3rd place, she'd still get $350. But that's a big drop from 1st place of 12.
Absolutely is.
Is it about money? It helps.
Yeah.
We all like the money.
I mean, I know a lot of people say when they're first getting into fitness and athleticism, oh, just start running. It's free. It is not free.
It's not.
Running is one of the most expensive sports. Have you looked at the price of good trainers lately?
Have you looked at the price of a good physio lately?
Sure.
There we go. So Alex is overtaken, and Alex is in the lead again. She is overtaken. She's overtaken Jamie. We could be seeing a bit of back and forth between those two as the obstacles get heavier and heavier. Chris in 4th. Not sure who is in 3rd right now. We'll tell you as soon as we know. The men came in 45 minutes. The women have been running for 35 minutes, so we've still got a fair bit of time for the women to go. Plenty can change. Rogoski there. She's really strong on obstacles. She's a really strong runner. She ran 90 miles last weekend. Not sure what her plan is other than just to run her own race.
Yeah.
She's very kind of low-key and humble when you speak to her, and she doesn't really give much away.
Yeah.
She knows what she's capable of, but she's not. She's not going to say big words.
No. She doesn't have to. She's just going to go out there and let her training do the speaking for her. And honestly, to watch her right now, nobody would guess she did a 90-mile obstacle event last week.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
It's absolutely nuts. I was just rabbiting for that event. Maybe I covered 22 miles. I'm still hurting.
Oh, look, female lanes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well done, Savage. Oh, wait, is this because of weight? Yank my train, obstacle 15 to 38 could be due to weight.
That is a fair point. I do love the yank my chain obstacle. I just love chain training in general.
Look at the distance between Alex and Jamie. 36 minutes in. Really, really close between the two of them. You know, that could be a case of Jamie just keeping Alex within touching distance to overtake last minute. And there's quite a stretch on the, there's a bit of a gap, it looks like, on the finish line. So there's a good finish line sprint available for the athletes, which always makes it interesting. We go running with. I think she found these shorts in a bin.
Oh, did she really?
Because they do say Savage across the back.
I was just thinking about how at the beginning I was postulating. Oh, I wonder if these athletes are wearing that blue because it's the Savage blue. If that's just a coincidence. Now that I see the branding on the back, not a coincidence.
Alex, Jamie. Yeah, if you look picture in pitch, and you see, like you say, you can't tell that Chris has run 90 miles last weekend. Alex, Jamie looks a little bit fatigued.
I would agree.
Upright, strong legs. It looks like she's kind of taking it up a gear, and she's like, right, now's the time to pull out the back, lads. It'd be really interesting to see what she does.
Yeah. Yeah, she's got that calm confidence of someone who has put in the work.
Teeter tuber.
Don't worry. If you need that said out loud, just like Hit me on the shoulder. I'll say it for you.
I was being laughed at last weekend for my British accent and my pronunciation. I was saying this one word that I really struggle with, or phrase that I really struggle with to say, which
Maryland.
is teeter-totter. It sounds so stupid in my accent, so I just kind of say teeter-totter. But yeah, I can't say Maryland.
Yeah, that's one of the fun things about British accents. They really do say and enunciate every single letter, whereas Americans, teeter-totter, we kind of replace most T's with D's, like water.
Water.
Unless you're in South Jersey, then water.
Okay, picture, we can see Chris. Quite a
lucky
big
South
gap.
Jersey.
Quite a big gap here. Can she make up this distance? She doesn't. I don't think she's intending to.
No, she doesn't even look like she's in a hurry. But she looks strong. She looks stable.
She looks strong. I mean, so last year, Chris took 100 miles at World's Toughest Mudder. She was the first woman to do that. It was incredible. This year it was tricky. The miles were lower. She could have got 95 miles. The time was there for her to get 95 miles, and she stopped at 90. And it kind of felt like she did what she needed to do.
Yeah.
Which I don't have a problem with.
No.
You know, there's no point in pushing yourself more than she wasn't going to. Well, actually, 95 would have been a record. No woman has got 95 either.
Yeah.
But there comes a point where you need to not just flail, is that the word? Yourself constantly. And if she takes third place, she'll still win the series. Is that her game today? I don't know.
I mean, I think that was a really smart
I don't want to talk for her, but
yeah, maybe we can get some of that information from her later. But yeah, I think that is a great testament to what it is like to really not only plan your race, but to plan your season. Because she really could have pulled it out and done 95, but that would have put her at risk for not winning the other championships she was involved in.
yeah, like I say, normally World's Toughest Mudder for people is kind of their A race. She did that and then came here next weekend, which for people, this final will be their A race.
Yeah.
So how does she manage that? I just don't know.
Yeah.
Who's in third for the females? We don't know who's in third for the females, and we would love to find out if any of our cameras can find third, because, yeah, we are very interested in Chris and how she performs, but ultimately, the podium is the top three, so we would like to know who's in third place. And the last we heard, it was Chris in fourth. If I get that information or if I get that picture, I will absolutely show you. Third. Thank you, Shan. Oh, wait.
Something you don't see much at OCR
So
anymore.
I think that's Casey running in third. Again, apologise, I've got the sun in my eyes a little bit. And the picture is probably better. Well, I've got my phone open with YouTube, and the picture is better for you at home, but that looks like Casey running in third. Casey, let's see how she's been doing. She's currently in sixth in the series. If she came in third, she's got 378 points. If she came in third, that would give her 198 plus 98 points. So it would give her 476. She still wouldn't place, but it doesn't. It's not the thing I want to really push on this event. Is it's not just the series win that matters today. It is the event placements as well. It is two things. It is an individual standalone event, and it is the final in the series. So everything matters. Where can I see the pro males? The pro males have finished. The pro males finished quite a while ago.
She's still in it.
Almost 15 minutes ago, I think. We had Sean coming in first, followed by Ryan and Joe Koto in third. The results will be online, and if you want to see the men's race, after this is finished, scoot back and watch the whole thing again. The men have currently finished. What were you saying? I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh, I have already forgotten.
Okay, the interesting thing about.
It'll come back to me one day, and if it doesn't, I guarantee you it wasn't important.
Okie dokie. Let's have a look at how Casey has done in other events. In Ohio, Casey came second behind Chris. 5 minutes behind Chris, but a good like 25 seconds in front of Jamie. That was the same race where Jamie came ahead of Alex, like 3 minutes ahead of Alex. She came 6th in Maryland. She came 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th in Dallas last time. So she has been doing well. 4 races she's run at, and she's come steadily 6th and above. She's doing well today in 3rd. I'm surprised that people have only done. Well, you only need to do 5 races. You just have to do this one, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
But there are some races you think should people have. Could they have got better points when the big athletes went here? But there's always been a few of the top 3 always turning up consistently. Such a long game when it's a yearly series.
Yeah, especially when you don't have a guarantee on who will show up. You just have to pick the ones you think you'll be best at.
The weather's dropped a bit. The breeze has picked up. It's feeling actually a bit more pleasant than it was half an hour ago.
Well, especially as the sun gets higher in the sky, because we are under a bit of a structure, so we have some shade, which is nice.
So Casey going through obstacle number 25, back scratcher there. 25 of 38, so the women have still got a fair way to go. Just trying to zoom in on my map. Oh, I think I've done it. I've been struggling with my map. I've got my iPad to see what the obstacles are. Honestly, if you can all see this map, it goes round and round and round, and it's kind of hard to make sense of it. So there are a lot of obstacles that are really close together, but we're not seeing massively technical obstacles. The team stream will give me a bit of a hard time for saying technical obstacles. We all know what I mean. In this final stretch, we've got SavagePro. That's the biggie.
Yep.
That's number 30.
And they have 3 Savage rigs throughout this course today.
That's not the one that's right behind us, is it?
No, I think the one right behind us is probably Savage Rig. No, not 3. Savage Rig 2, I imagine. Oh, the rig.
Savage Rig,
yes,
36.
sorry. One of the confusing things looking at things from the festival area where we are is this course is so tightly wound, tightly packed, with so many obstacles so tightly together.
That's Savage Rig 3 for 36. It's right behind us, so we're right near the start line.
Yeah, so see, I got confused because of those walls being so close to it. I was like, oh, we saw the ladies come over. That can't be the end. Nope.
We should actually see the women coming through there at some point. Alex Walker in the lead still for the women. Jamie in 2nd. Casey 3rd. Chris Rakowski coming in 4th. Is Chris aiming to take over Casey and take 3rd place today? I would expect so. Tree hugger. So the top women have just gone through tree hugger, which is obstacle 34 for Savage Rig, and then another Savage Rig. So we should be seeing women not long. I'm just going to turn around, so if I miss anything on screen, I do apologize.
Okay, you watch back there, I'll watch the screen, and I'll...
So they're passing Savage Rig 1. Oh, wait, 31. Oh, we got a while. For obstacle 30. Okay, they're quite wet. We've got a while yet. I'll stick with the screen. Savage Rig number 1. Those little cheese slices really look quite tricky. I wonder if... No, she didn't skip them. Alex did not skip those. She failed it.
No.
Alex coming up right behind her. Let's keep on these 2 women and see how they do.
And there's Jamie coming in as well.
So this is the point where things can change.
Got it.
I always forget you can use your feet in Savage. She lost a good few seconds there. Jamie is long. She's very tall. Oh, Jamie, no, I want to see Jamie. I'm so sorry.
Professionals.
Still looking really strong. Picture in picture.
Yeah, it really doesn't look like that little mishap shook her up too much. Still running
Chris,
strong.
strolling up to obstacles, really taking her time.
Yeah, and then like once she's done, she just kind of stands there for a second, takes a breath, and just jogs off like, might as well.
But, you know, taking it so easy. Like, she doesn't look stressed.
No. I mean, as you said, like, as long as she gets above 5th, she still wins the series.
That
And
doesn't strike me as Chris's attitude of as long as I do this, I will, but we don't know how she's feeling and how her body's feeling. And I think, you know, for the first time last weekend at World's Toughest Mudder, she was worried. Her first line to crossing the finish line, as far from what I heard, was, do I need to do another lap?
Yeah.
She got chased down by Kelly Schweikart, who did really, really well. And it's been a heavy season of incredible performances from Chris.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like after not only doing 90 miles in general, but winning World's Toughest Mudder, the fact that she is standing this weekend at all, much less moving, much less running, much less competing.
Going back to work as far as we're aware in between. And that's what being 27 does for you. Just turning 27 a couple of weeks ago. She also ran her age in miles the week before World's Toughest Mudder.
That's true. That is true. I forgot about that.
Oh, to be 27.
Yeah.
No, to be Chris Rogowski. Twist and shout, the ladies are coming up to. This was a new obstacle for this year. Obstacle 33 of 38. After that, we got Savage Rig 2, and then I will be turning around to watch them come through Savage Rig number 3, which is obstacle 36 of 38. And we're very close to the finish line after that.
I think this is a great example of obstacle innovation because it's low cost, it's low effort to put in, but it is
a
like
bit
you
of
said,
a bugger.
nasty. Yeah, absolutely. And it's not really the kind of thing that you can train for. You just have to get there, and it's definitely a mental obstacle.
Chris coming through on, is that Tree Hugger?
Even if it's not physically taxing, that looks mentally frustrating.
Oh, this is Tree Hugger.
Tree Hugger 2.0, so they're at 34 of 38.
One of the obstacles that I always find a bit questionable for women and height differences. I know there are shorter male athletes, and I'm not discounting that, but on the whole, a lot of the men are quite a bit taller than women. So when it's something like that, I question how taxing that's going to be for women. I don't know why I'm watching behind me. Casey coming through. I'm still watching film, and I know they're not coming through just yet. Chris on Savage Rig number 1. It's quite a big gap. We've just had the women come through. Tree Hugger 2.0. They're probably going through Savage Rig. Oh, there we go. Going through Savage Rig number 2 as we speak. With Chris just going through Savage Rig 1, which is obstacle 31. Savage Rig 2 is obstacle 35. Just before mile 6. About half a mile difference. No, they're not that rig yet. A half mile difference.
Oh, that's 3.
First place and Chris in 4th. And Chris and Jamie neck and neck on this rig. Picture, don't fail me now. Come on.
Yep. Yeah, but after this, the next place we will see them will be at Savage Rig 3, right behind us.
Alex has made it through. Those are little tentacle holes. Oh, look at the little kids getting ready to run. That is super cute. Oh, Jamie's struggling. When it gets to the rigs, there are 2 rigs now. It's not. It would not be impossible for Chris to overtake.
Absolutely.
On these 2 rigs.
Yeah, especially 2 back-to-back like that.
I sound like I want her to win. I don't have a preference of who wins. I'm cheering on everyone, but it's exciting to see the competition.
It is. We're just sharing possibilities.
Alex fell off the rig as she made it through.
But I mean, we still got a lot of time before anybody can really call it. As they say, the race starts at midnight. No, wait, sorry, wrong week.
Alex is still there. Alex didn't make it through.
Oh.
Did Jamie make it through? Jamie and Alex. Oh, this is looking like it did. Few races to go. So there's Jamie. You can see her in the background. Alex pulling herself together, doing that mental prep. We're right at the end of the race. They do not know where Chris is.
Yeah.
They don't know how far behind us they are. They can't hear anything where they are. They have to get that mental game together to get through this obstacle. There's still one more big rig not far away.
Yeah.
So they don't know if this is the point where they lose this lead that they've worked so hard for in 54 minutes.
Yeah, this is like horror movie style stress where you don't know how close the threat is behind you, but you know it's coming.
12 noon.
Oh, that is rough.
Dr. Berrios Junior course all set up and ready.
So we were predicting Chris to be about a mile behind the others. Here we go. She's coming up to Tree Hugger. Oh my God, that is so close to Savage Rig number 2. She's done Twist and Shout. She's at Tree Hugger. She's coming up to Savage Rig now. Jamie making her way through. No, that's not Jamie. That's not Jamie. There we go.
There we go.
Jamie making her way through. Come on, Jamie. Seeing these women working so hard on these rigs shows just how difficult they are. Come on, show me. They show it just proves how tough these obstacles are. Come on, just reach out and hit that bell. Just reach out and hit that bell. That's all you have to do.
Over here.
Come on.
Very
come
much.
on.
On the edge of my seat watching this. And like watching athletes of this caliber do these kinds of things, it is hard to.
Alex. Chris. Alex. Okay, see.
Yeah.
So we currently have all top 4 women on rig number 2. Chris failing it as well.
Oh, wow.
And we still have one more rig to go.
Yeah, like I was saying before, watching athletes of this caliber on these obstacles, it is easy to forget just how difficult they are.
Just trying to find some shade for my screen.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be a real task for the crew and everyone at the race to keep the lanes clear for the women. The women should have repeated tries here as they are battling it out for the top spot. Jamie there, getting a bit of a pep talk. She looks beat. They all look a little bit beat. Camera.
They are working.
Call that your next coaching.
So now it's about recovery. You got to take some recovery time to get through it.
So the top 4 women all know that they are there together, battling this out. They also know there's another rig to go before the end of the race. You have Ryan walking towards us. Man, pretty hot. It looks like a tough day out there.
Absolutely. I'm just sitting here overheating in the shade, and all I can think of is, oh, we're doing this soon.
Let's go, Grippy.
Check.
Let's go, Grippy.
What up, dog?
It's in your name, Grippy.
So as we watch the women battling it through on the rig, we have
Hi.
Ryan here with us.
So we
Ryan,
got the girls stuck at rig
Yeah.
2 here.
yep, rig number 2. It's been
Yeah.
a bit of a battle.
It is. That rope is slack just enough, and I mean that is one of the hardest courses I've ever done as far as just the
Really?
obstacle overload. It was
Really?
and the heat. We were
You look
toast.
so hot.
So this, like, I wanted to jump and swing through, and I think I jumped and did a couple matches, like right where Chris is, and your arms are pretty toast to that point, because you're going the way it slacks. You're going kind of uphill the whole way.
Could
And
you
you
use
see
your
the
feet?
guy over on the left.
If you're really struggling? To see Chris struggling this much kind
Yeah.
of highlights how
Yeah.
much of a tough obstacle it
Yeah,
is.
I mean, what you have the tree hugger right before this, which isn't much, but it's enough for your upper body. The other rig is right before this.
And there's still one more rig to go.
As
Right
a bit
behind
of a
us.
gauge to see what we might be seeing in the next few minutes once they make it through, how would you say that Savage Rig 2 compares to Savage Rig 3, which they still have to do right after this?
3 is easy. It's just rings.
Okay.
It has a bar at the end. Typically, it's a lachey, but they put a like a hanging rope in between. So they shouldn't have any issue from here off. Besides that, everybody is so toast at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I had cut the lead.
Oh.
Quick reset.
I had cut the lead down to Sean, but there's nothing left at this point. I mean, there's just so many obstacles in less than 3 miles.
Yeah.
Well, in this race, we've seen Alex took the lead early on, Jamie right behind her, and Chris was in 4th up until not long ago. And now all 4, Casey in 3rd, all 4 women
Yeah.
are at this rig together. So we've been talking the whole time, is Chris going to be able to catch up? She often does this when she's not in 1st. An obstacle, she catches up. We were kind of saying, she's got the others have got such a lead, it's unlikely. But they've all been here for minutes
No,
now.
it's so much running in early on. They heated the body up, got everybody tired. And then
Well done. You
I
got
think
it.
the hardest section was right after,
You're so
I'm
strong.
trying to remember, when we had to crawl underneath the netting rope. It's this section.
It goes round and
I
round so
know.
much. It's actually really hard
So
to.
confused where we are right now.
Oh, Chris.
But there's just a section where we had
Jamie.
Keep your
nice. She's got
Jamie.
it. She's got it.
Oh, almost.
Get it.
Yes!
Yes!
All right, there we go.
She's gonna have the race.
Go get her.
You can see one of our rabbits,
Awesome.
Jessica, out there being really excited to see
How
that
does
happen.
that put her in the series? I know Chris was in the lead by quite a bit, right?
So if Chris would have to come 5th to not take 1st in the series. Was that Jamie or Chris? I can't see.
That
from
was
this angle.
Jamie.
That was Jamie.
They wear the same outfits, and I picked them out by the tattoos, but I couldn't see them. So
Yeah.
Jamie is 3rd in the series.
How many points back?
394.
6 points. So it's a possibility Jamie wins the series.
Chris would
has
have to fall far
Jamie's
behind.
going to win. There's no question. So Chris would just have to finish 6th and then be tie, and then it'll be tiebreaker goes to Jamie.
I mean, Chris was at World's Toughest Mudder last weekend. She
Yeah,
did 90
that's pretty
miles.
rough.
We expect a lot from Chris consistently. It's
So who else we have for girls? Alex,
Chris, Casey is who the only ones that we've seen in the top 4 women.
Rachel.
Rachel,
Is that
Sarah,
Rachel right there?
Alex. Is that Alex?
Hard to tell. So we have a glare on our screen here.
It's
Yeah, all day.
YouTube actually shows a really good picture. But I'm actually
oh
behind
boy,
on YouTube.
they are really.
Oh, that's Alex.
Yeah, I mean this would be a different story if you could use your feet on the rope.
So you're not allowed to use your feet.
Not allowed to use your feet.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise.
If you could.
Yeah. Which maybe not a good time to talk about it, but may have been a smart decision because using your feet, it would slow you down so much that there's really no benefit unless you're gassed like this. So it may have been just as fair if they allowed people to use their feet so you
But
didn't
this
have a
is-
situation like this.
No feet has changed the race.
Yep. Yeah, completely.
So we should see Jamie coming from
Jamie
behind
should
us.
have already went through here. Actually, she is probably over here coming on the finish.
Do we have another camera on Jamie? Because she will be crossing. We have a static finish line camera, but we're not seeing. Oh, is that her coming through? Can we have a look at the finish line camera quickly? That is not Jamie. That is a man.
So there is the mega wall.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if their arms are shot, the thing's not easy to get up. Which is right over here behind us. Looks like she just got to the top of it.
Oh, we got so excited seeing
Oh,
Jamie
wait, we
behind
just
us.
missed it on this camera.
Sean was running really strong today.
Yeah, he was. He made a really nice move early. We both were so shot at the end. But it is the design of the course. This was, hopefully moving forward, we get every course like this because this was obstacle racing.
You want them to be this tough?
Yeah. But I think we should have just walked 3 miles and then restarted at mile 3.
Yeah, it's quite an unusual layout with the long run and then all those obstacles.
It's an interesting venue. In the past, this venue's been very wet. So what we ran through today, which was all running fast, in the past has been swampy and slow.
Oh, right.
So it's dried out substantially.
There we go.
There she
There's
is.
Jamie crossing the finish line. So
Right.
that's the
Nice, first
win
place.
this season in the
That'll-
Savage
That'll
Pro
put her with
Series.
494.
Zoomed in so much. So that would put her in at 494.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie, Chris would have to come 7th to tie with Jamie for the series lead.
Okay.
Which is
No,
unlikely.
6, right?
100, 99, 98, 97, 96, 95, 94.
Oh.
I'm not even going to try to do math today, but
It's
basically just what we're
I
seeing
don't-
at this rig right now. I think that it's to use the most overused cliche in sports, anything is possible at this point.
It is. There's no question.
Ooh, I hate cliches. I'm going to scold myself for that one later, but it's so
true.
true right now. It's so true.
It is. Hey, even in the men's race, if you, 25 minutes in, you would have thought Sean would have completely ran away with the race, and it closed down at the end, and that's what obstacle racing is. There's seconds to be had.
Savage does that very, very well.
It does.
There are some races you see them and you just kind of get to a point you're like, well, this person has won this race.
Yeah.
But Savage consistently creates courses that you never know what the result is going to be.
Yeah, that's one of the things I appreciate about Savage, how unpredictable their courses can be and how they put so much effort into innovation using the terrain and the obstacles.
Yep.
Like, you'd be hard-pressed to find a management team more dedicated to racer experience.
Oh, they love it. Lee designing the courses. He's so passionate. And, from afar, you look at the race, and the obstacles don't look incredibly hard, in comparison to maybe European racing. But what's special about Savage is that they have a large bank of obstacles they pull from, and each race is a little bit different, meaning that you don't, as in other series where you have very similar obstacles each race, you don't get this perfection of technique.
Mhm.
You have to kind of think on the fly, and in the end, there's just seconds to be had here and there, and again, allowing anybody to come back whenever.
Yeah.
So,
Ooh,
who was that?
Casey?
Pink shorts. That's not like Alex, isn't it?
No, Alex was
No.
in burgundy shorts.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like that you're also doing the outfits. That's how I
Yeah.
I can recognize you and Ryan running.
No, that's not either. Maybe Casey. I don't know.
How long? I mean, someone's asking here. It's still a long way to go, but what happens if the women time out? that a risk?
So there is the timeout they added this year. I think there's 2 out. I think it's a 10:30 or 11 o'clock time cut.
It must be 11
And
o'clock for the women.
I don't believe they finished DQing the race. I believe.
Yeah, they no longer have any chance for like placing or points or
That's
anything at
going
that
to get
point.
interesting because this race was mandatory.
Yeah.
So if you don't complete this race, you technically don't complete the series. So whoever finishes this race from this point on.
Yeah,
Right, so that's Chris in the blue.
And this year they actually shortened the time allotted for
Yes,
that
they did.
because there were a number of racers in the past who would, if they failed an obstacle, they would take a 40-minute break.
Here she goes.
Nice.
She got it.
Oh.
Stay with it.
Yes. Go.
Almost there.
All the way
This
back
little
up. Let's
section
go.
at the end is not as easy because you have to go up the whole way.
You got it.
That's diabolical, honestly.
Kick it. You got it.
Got it,
Kick
girl.
And what a great shot this is as well. The sun
is.
coming through like that. This is an epic shot.
This is
Go.
nice.
To the finish. I got
This
you.
is a beautiful venue. Fog in the morning.
Absolutely is.
Kind of sits up a little bit higher in Florida.
So I'm just trying to look through the results, see if we've got any live timing, see who that was, because we've got a DJ booth over there that seems to have a lot of information that we don't
Yeah.
have. But I wasn't picking up anything. But this looks like Chris. I mean, she's now in third,
Yep.
and we had, unfortunately, embarrassingly, unaware of who the woman in second was in the bright pink shorts.
The turn and smile looked like Casey, but at the same time, Casey is new to Savage, and it would be a big surprise if she had gotten to that.
She's
before
consistently
Chris.
finished sixth and above.
Yeah.
She did finish in, I think it was second. Was it second in one of
Yeah.
the races?
Just traditionally, she'd always done just strictly Spartan races. So this whole obstacle game was a whole new. There she is on the mega. That definitely doesn't look like Casey.
Well, crossing the line shortly.
You know, that kind of looks like a girl named Heather.
I'm also turning around to see if we get Chris coming through on the rig.
Chris will be right there right now.
Now, you finished a fair long time ago, and you still look pretty hot. I try to think what it's like out there.
We've actually had full races here, but
Oh, Chris. There she is. There
Oh,
she
there she
goes.
is.
Taped up, but not that much considering what she did last week. Easy, easy, easy. Boom.
Nicely
Through.
done.
Right. Finish line.
nice. Seems like great coverage today, though.
Mm.
Here we go.
Nice.
We have, and we will have the name in just 2 seconds for you. Come on. What a win for Jamie, though.
Oh,
You know,
great
she's had a great season, and she pushed really hard today.
Wow, Chris's shot.
She really is. Chris always impresses me in the way that she runs her own race. And like today, her running has been strong, but you can always see it in her body language. She's not pushing as hard as she normally does, which is paid off for her. Third place is not bad.
No,
it's
not bad
really
at
good,
all.
but she looks.
I mean, I couldn't imagine doing world just having that fatigue, not even doing the race, but staying up 24 hours, traveling, and having to come out in this heat
And do
from,
this.
out west.
And as Fred pointed out earlier, she had a birthday a few days before World's Toughest Mudder, and she ran the number of miles that matched her. She ran 27 miles for her birthday.
There she
Did not
goes.
be a World's Toughest, and now she's out here coming in what looks like it's going to be second place.
So you see, everybody, this mega wall, it's a little bit bigger than Colossus, and it's a lot to get to the top. It takes quite a bit of energy to get up there.
We've still not had the female second place come through on the results. I would have thought it'd be updated by now.
Yeah, I've been listening out to hear if the stage MC, Jeff, is going to be announcing
Unless
the name.
that was someone on Blitz, but it's unlikely.
Perhaps.
I mean, it could have been.
I don't believe the Blitz courses have gone out yet.
Well, we've seen women go through these obstacles prior to any of our top women.
Oh, okay.
So it could be. Because remember
It
saying,
could
oh,
be.
that looks confusing. There are women coming
Yeah,
through
well, I
here.
just know that normally the Blitz courses go off later in the day. Since if I'm ever at a Savage race, I'm usually the start line announcer.
So you might know.
Yeah, so I mean, like that's how it has been for me in the past. But things change for every race.
And here we
every venue.
go. Chris.
Wow, what a monster.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Great. Great inspiration. I wouldn't recommend it. But she is something else.
Good job,
She
but
really
no thank
is.
you.
She's earned the name Chris Ridiculous, and I love it.
She is. That is her. It shows that her ability to stay healthy. That alone is incredible.
I think there's a lot to be said for her mental capacity because a lot of people have the capability to train physically and to become physically strong, but having the ability to push yourself and keep pushing yourself, I mean, that's something I don't have.
Yeah.
I just don't know how people do it.
No,
Yeah, well, I mean, especially doing this many major physical feats in such a short amount of time, you know that the temptation and the justification toward excuses have to be building. I did all of this stuff. I can take a day off. And it is hard to overcome all of those and to come through taking so many wins.
That's what endurance is. It's the world of excuses. Everybody's complaining about everything, and she doesn't.
I'm just going to get some information for you because the results are still not updating online.
That's so epic.
So to find out who the top, well, we know who's first and third, and then we'll get the other women coming through for you soon. I mean, I don't want to be British and go on about the weather, but I'm at home currently. It's like 6 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's cold and it's wet. This is so unusual. Like, just this weather in the UK is unusual, full stop.
Yeah, I had we had snow yesterday, so.
Did you travel down yesterday?
Yeah, last night.
Wow.
We late traveled, but I like the Florida heat. I think it feels good, but
I just feel it's so sticky.
No, it's a guy. Yeah, this is probably one of the hottest ones we had. It rained a little bit last night, and then the sun just burned through the fog this morning. Something else.
I was saying as we drove in, like, this looks like the start of the UK race day in November, where you're driving in and there's just fog everywhere. The difference is when you step out of the car in the UK, it's normally -degrees, whereas here it was already 22.
Yeah, and a lot of people, complain about the heat or whatnot, but it's one of the largest detriments on performance that the body can handle. It just puts such an added level of stress that
the heat.
Yeah, and trying to go hard and go through all these obstacles it's just fatiguing. And that's we had all the rigs today, but in that last 30 obstacles in 3 miles, there just was a lot of little walls, up and overs, things that just kept taxing us one after another. So that's Jamie. Who is
Courtney Washington.
Courtney Washington in second place. We've got the comments in YouTube not knowing who it is either. So luckily it's not just us who are.
No.
Complete.
I just jogged across the festival area to ask stage MC Jeff Meeks. Because he will obsessively have his radio and be updating, demanding updates throughout the race. And he told me, Courtney Washington coming in second place. And it was purely because of obstacle proficiency at rigs that took her from not really being considered as a contender for any of the podium spots and putting her into second above Crystal Glasgow.
That has just updated there. Courtney Washington, do we know
Savage
much more
has
about
the tendency to bring in ninja warriors, a lot of obstacle specialists, and also it seems like Florida, there's a pretty big culture of obstacles.
There really
is. Gyms and whatnot down here. And so these Florida races, sometimes you get this. You get an unknown coming in and hard course, and all the credit to her, and that's what obstacle racing is about.
Yeah, there has always been a strong obstacle community in Florida, especially Central and South Florida. With Savage being based out of here, and now World's Toughest Mudder coming to Central Florida for their permitted installation.
Yes, I heard that.
As of last weekend. And they still haven't said specifically where it is, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's if anybody really wants to try a Savage or do the best course, this course may not have the best terrain, but because it's their home base, every single year they always have a couple extra rigs. They always have some of the obstacles like Mega. We don't see at other venues that they leave down here. And it just, if you want an obstacle race, this is by far the, try it out.
We do have a discount code. Let's see if we can throw that up on screen for everyone. I'm just looking through the past results to see if we've got anything from Courtney, but so far we've not. FLF23 will get you 25% off.
Yes,
Florida.
Definitely worth signing up for, and especially since they have 2 events per year, one in the spring, one in the fall, here at this venue. Both of them, even though it's the same place, you will feel a drastically different race and event. Kind of like you said, last time was much wetter, swampier, muddier, and today was a fairly dry course. But
we saw you before the course kind of trying to dry your hands off.
Oh, yeah.
It's often a bit of a, again, in the UK, the thing is having damp races where the obstacles are wet. Here it's kind of like your hands are damp because it's so humid.
You're so humid. You got to kind of get that up. Is this Courtney right here?
Yeah.
Hey.
Here she runs past.
Courtney, get over here. Congratulations. Come here.
Thank you so much. Hi. Take a seat.
Oh, gosh. Thank you.
So we had a bit of trouble with that. We weren't sure who you were. We're trying to identify. You got up that obstacle ahead of Alex, ahead of Chris, threw a beautiful smile back to the camera and just like, hi, I'm Oscar.
Oh, you smoked that obstacle as well.
Thank you.
Blazed through it, which is wildly impressive. The number of people who got held up and lost their positioning because of that obstacle.
I was going to say, I actually I had a terrible run. I was just going super slow, just exhausted. And then I got to the rig and I saw everybody there. And I was like, okay, this is a one shot. Like, get it and go.
So that was your first try?
First try.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it just goes to show as well, doesn't it? Like, this is what obstacle course racing is all about. It's not necessarily who's going to run the fastest all the time. And I really, really appreciate races that aren't just runners' races.
See, me too, 100%. Because I love the obstacles. That's like my go-to. Running, terrible. But obstacles, I can do.
So I was just looking through the past results to see if you were coming up on any of the Savage races. And so far from what I found, I've not seen any of your results. Have you been here throughout the season?
Yeah, so I only do the Florida and Georgia ones just because I rock climb, so like those kind of competitions like coincide. So I did Georgia last race, and I ended up getting third, I think, in the last.
Which is why I'd only got up to Ohio.
Yeah. So, and then I think either last year or the year before last, I was third overall here at the last race. So.
It goes to show, doesn't it? Like a lot of athletes say their training for obstacle course racing is rock climbing, bouldering, and running.
Yeah,
and that's all they need.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, for me to be able to do obstacles, I have to learn technique because I'm not very good.
Oh, no.
But if you have that innate ability to have the technique, the strength that rock climbing and bouldering gives you, obviously shows.
Yes, definitely. It's actually you're used to rock climbing. You're climbing on small, tiny holds. So anytime I see like a ring or a bar or something, I'm like, that's great. I can hold on to that 100%. Yeah. So that's one thing I can look forward to. Besides running, definitely need to work on that.
Well, I mean, you've proven that you have the grip ability where these athletes, and they are impressive athletes. We're saying if Chris is struggling on something, it shows it's tough. You sail through that.
Yeah.
If your running came up to that, you're someone to keep eyes on.
Absolutely.
Well,
that's a goal for the
appreciate
off season, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, I definitely look up to those girls running. I definitely have them in mind every time I run. Like, okay, I've got to get I got to start going because they run faster than I can even imagine. Like they take off in the beginning. I'm like, maybe I'll see y'all in a minute. So.
And then lo and behold, you end up passing a lot of them.
Yes.
Like that. How does that feel? Like to unexpectedly take a podium spot like that?
Honestly, I got to the finish line and had no idea. I just knew that everybody was stuck there. And then I think I saw Chris at the start of the rig. So I was like, hold up.
Chris is there.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so this might be a little bit challenging. But I was like, if I can get it on first go, I can make a pretty good move here. So
yeah, and I think that's a testament to the level of focus that you had achieved during this race. That you made it to the finish in second place and were unaware of that accomplishment. Like that's awesome.
Yes, I actually had a girl come up to me and she was like, "You got second." I was like, I have no idea. Did I? I don't know. So I didn't see
Shut up!
anybody
Don't
else.
tell me jokes. Like don't tease me.
I was going to say, I started looking around and didn't see anybody else. I was like, okay, I might be in second.
I do love it. You have to go back and kind of watch just after you come off the ring. It was so good. You just turned to the camera and you're like, hey.
Oh, did I? Yeah.
You know, like if you would have winked and you would have just heard like a little ding, like it would have been spot on, like a.
You just look so happy.
Yeah.
And
like an Orbit's gum commercial. Like,
Oh, nice. That's great.
Yeah.
Well done. That was very, very impressive. Apologies for not knowing who you were
No,
immediately.
that's perfectly fine. Hopefully you'll be seeing a little bit more of me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate it. I always say it, and I'll say it again. I love it when athletes wear distinctive clothing. The pictures you can see can be a bit iffy.
Yeah.
And when people wear things like this, like, you're on the start line,
Yes.
I'll follow you the whole race.
I definitely want to be able to be seen if
So I
cross.
appreciate the bright pink shorts.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Well done.
Thanks. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that was Courtney Washington. She was our second place female, surprisingly taking the lead. We had seen Alexandra Walker, Jamie Horonopoulos, Chris Wagowski, and Casey Monroe in the top four. And then at that second of three rigs, all change.
Yeah.
Athletes really, really struggling there with Courtney Washington and her
Thanks,
obstacle proficiency. Bye, Ryan. Well
Thank you.
done.
Take care, mate.
Taking second place, saying bye to Ryan, who came in second as well today, which has taken him to second place in the series.
Mhm.
As soon as we have the podium results and the series results will throw up on the screen, I'll quickly have a check on the YouTube comments, see if anyone's got anything to say. Not really.
If it's mean, don't tell me.
It's not.
Okay.
But yeah, an absolutely incredible race for the final today. I was just thinking when we were talking to Courtney there, the coolness with which she approached that rig
Yeah.
and took it is impressive at any race, but at a series finale when everyone is pushing hard and the placements are going to impact, not just, there's two things. There's the placement and then there's the prize money, which is huge. So we've got a good sprint finish coming there between two athletes.
We're wearing the
Just
same
coming in,
outfits. I'm guessing that they're
holding hands.
friends.
It's super cute.
I love that.
All the
time.
differences of obstacle course racing within 10 seconds
Oh, yeah.
crossing the line. But yeah, for her to then be able to cross that rig so coolly and so efficiently and with so much strength, it's really, really impressive.
Oh, it really, really is. And especially
Let's have a look at the leaderboard.
And especially to see all of the top competitors there and to be aware of who they are and then to not be intimidated by the fact that they are struggling on this obstacle.
Not quite there yet. As soon as we get it, Jason, as soon as it's ready, just throw it up and we'll have a chat. So the men's leaderboard has not changed massively. We had Ryan and Sean neck and neck, both tied in first position with 399 points after 4 races coming into this final mandatory race. So what that means is anyone who's not here, if you're on the leaderboard, you wouldn't be placing.
Yeah.
Despite the work you put in. And we were expecting it to be a battle between Ryan and Sean, and it was. Ryan saying it was incredibly hot out there. I mean, we were talking to him like half an hour after his race finished, if not more, and he was still very red, very hot. And he's a competent athlete. He was saying he really suffered out there in the heat, and that was a really big obstacle today. But Sean took first place with really, really, really strong running.
Oh, absolutely.
Really strong running. And Joseph Cotto coming in third. So that won't have changed the top 3 on the leaderboard for the men. For the women, let me have a quick look to see if we've had any more women. We may have more women coming through, but that doesn't mean the results have updated yet. But we do know that first place for the women was Jamie Horonopoulos, so she will be top of the leaderboard with 494 points. Chris came in third on the leaderboard, so she will be second with 499 points. And Jamie, actually, Alex could still take second if she came in 4th, couldn't she? Let's do some quick math there. If Jamie came in 4th, if Alex came in 4th, she'd be 199, 98, 97. So it'd be 397, add 97. It's 494. There could be a tie between Jamie and Alex.
Oh, that would be exciting.
Huh?
He could finish first.
Which would be Jamie. For this, okay. I think I'd do that. Sometimes I get confused with that. Yeah, that'd be if she came in 4th. But we're not quite sure yet. Let's have a quick look if anyone's come through for the women. So Sean was saying, so still the top 3, Jamie Horonopoulos, Courtney Washington, Chris Rogowski. We're at 10:43. Do we have any cameras on the rig still to see if any of those females are still on the rigs? I'm not sure we do.
Where is the spectators at? It's right next to them. Where they going?
If we had a camera still out there, we could see there's a woman running, so that must be Blitz must be going because that's not one.
Yeah,
there's a
Blitz
lot of
must
women
be.
coming through.
Kind of wish that I would have asked for the start line paperwork so that I would have the schedule like I usually do.
I mean, you can tell the women that are competing. Well, I wish we still had a camera out there. I want to know what's going on with Alex and all the other women at that rig.
And if any of you were doubting just how hot it is out here today, I want to point out that we had 2 of our top finishers sitting here with us, and the chair is still drenched.
Oh my God! It looks like there's been a bottle of water spilled all over that.
And that's still probably only a third of what it was like about 5 minutes ago.
So just getting news in that Rachel Waters has just finished. That was coming in fourth. So Alex, despite having an incredible race to start with, must have struggled on the rig so much. I'm trying to get a camera out there. That she is not in fourth, which means there will be no tie between her and Jamie. Rachel Waters not in the top 10. I mean, she is. She's fourth in the. She's fourth in the current leaderboard. Rachel Waters with 388 points. So she's coming in fourth today. My math is so slow. That's 100, 99, 98, 97.
I think you're doing great.
388. That would bring her in at 485 points. So, yeah. Coming in third in the series.
Yeah.
So that should be Chris Pogorski, Jamie Horonopoulos, and Rachel Waters for the women in the series today. The women finishers, Jamie Horonopoulos, Courtney Washington, and Chris Pogorski, followed by Rachel Waters, and no other finishers yet. We've had Courtney Washington and Ryan Kempson in the booth with us, so the second place for both the male and the female have joined us and had a quick chat about the course.
And I'm fairly certain that was the first time Courtney has stopped moving all day.
Yeah,
when we flagged her down.
Daniel Rose, I believe it. I'm in South Florida and it is boiling right now. It really is. We are planning to run this afternoon, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that.
Yeah, no, I'm sitting here thinking about how I'm hot, tired, and hungry, and I'm not feeling great. But
I think I'd like to just go and play on the obstacles.
I would also like that, yeah.
Jason next to us was like, no, I want to run.
I just want to go out there and test my my grip strength. Maybe find one of the water obstacles and just sit there for a while.
Nope. Alligators.
That's the alligator obstacle. It's going to be fun.
Never.
Yeah, they're fine. You just got to hold their mouth shut.
So, as saying, we are hearing that Rachel Waters has finished. As soon as the results update, I mean, you guys at home are so good at updating me. But as soon as the results update, which are in front of me, I will confirm that. We're just waiting for the leaderboards to be filled out. Then we can talk through those officially, because at the minute all you've got is my silly word for it. Which I'm not going to be honest, doesn't count for much.
I think it counts for a lot.
You would. Yeah, it's pretty amazing being here in person and seeing these obstacles. I'm super excited about Savage Rig. And Sawtooth looks really good fun.
Yeah.
They've also got a great kids race. I've seen a lot of kids ready to run. I think they're saying that's going off at midday. Here we go, the men's pro top 10. So this is the results for today. In first place, Sean Roberts, with Ryan Kempson coming in at 53 seconds behind him. Now, we have seen like split seconds or, a second between them in the past, but today almost a minute between second place Ryan Kempson and first Sean Roberts. Third, Joseph Cotto, a minute one behind Sean, followed by Ken Carliano. Oh, Noah Busher, our young athlete who is pulling it out the bag in fifth. Alvaro Vasquez in sixth. We're still seeing a close field here, 3 minutes. Sam Osborne in seventh, Kevin Thompson, eighth, Robbie Gingrich in ninth, and Noel Medina in 10th. Noel Medina joining us on the live stream chat very enjoyably last weekend. So shout out to Noel there for taking part.
The funky Noel Medina.
So Kevin Thompson was in fourth in the series points, and he came in eighth today. Let's see who else showing up in those results was Sam Osborne, ninth in the series, showing up seventh today. And Carliano is not in there. So these results today are going to change the leaderboard.
Yep.
And the interesting thing being, despite coming, slightly lower in the leaderboard today, they're going to have a good series finish. Do we have a series board available to look at?
You know, even though there weren't any split-second finishes, I still think that it is wildly fascinating, interesting, and impressive that between first and 10th was only a 7-minute difference.
Unofficial series leaderboard we have today. So as we said, Ryan and Sean came into this event neck and neck. Sean took the lead, Ryan came in second, which means he finishes 1 point behind Sean. I must say the competition between those two has been kind of the highlight of the series for me, I'd say. Love seeing athletes really succeed, but the competition is always fun. Joseph Cotto coming in third with 487 points, Kevin Thompson in fourth, Robbie Gingerich in fifth, Sam Osborne sixth, Gage Hicks in seventh, Johnny Morris in eighth, Freddie Thompson and Robert Turners, I think, in 10th. So athletes there, huge changes because, of course, as we've mentioned, this is a mandatory race of the series. You could have been in first place, but if you don't finish this race today or you don't turn up, you are not placing on the leaderboard. Just to point out, this is unofficial leaderboard.
Yes.
We have a camera back on the women's rig. Well, on the rig. On the rig. Whilst we're waiting for a few more results, let's take a quick look at that and see who is still out there, if anyone. Women's results haven't updated.
There we are.
Further, we've still only got the top 3 women showing.
Yeah, you can see all these athletes out here just staring at the rig, trying to get a game plan together.
So, I would like more information on the cutoff time because it's 10 to 11, and if we're not getting women through yet,
I'm not sure exactly when the cutoff time is. I know it used to be 2.5 hours.
As Alex
and I know that
still
it's
at the rig.
less now.
Oh, is she talking? Let's be quiet.
Oh no.
They just showed it.
Here we go. The women that have made it through so far: Jamie Horodopoulos in first, Courtney Washington, Chris Rogowski, and Rachel Waters. Let's leave that up for a second. I just want to look at some finish times from previous races out of interest. So, the last race in Dallas, Alex Walker came in first in 48:42. In Chicago, Rogowski in first with 50:50. Ohio 103. So actually this race is not that much slower than Ohio. But aside from Ohio, the races have all been, the longest one was Georgia, 55 minutes. Other than that, they've been like 51 minutes and below. This is Chris's slowest finish time by 10 minutes so far this season, which kind of indicates the difficulty of this course.
Both the difficulty of the course and just how hard she's been pushing herself lately.
I use her as an example because she's a consistent steady, but for everyone, it's a much slower finish time.
You got it. Big reach, big pull. There we go. Yes.
Look at this battle going in the direction.
Yeah, this is a tough course, and the heat out here is definitely not doing anyone any favors.
Oh.
Here, show it to me.
We've not seen a rig cause this many difficulties this season. I'm torn on this because I really love obstacles creating the difference in races rather than it being a runner's race, but I don't feel like this should be this difficult.
Well, I feel like the rig itself isn't necessarily ungodly difficult.
Well, Ryan was saying it's the slackness of the rope that makes it really hard. So
I think it's a mix of the slackness of the rope and also its position near the end of the race where there's already so much energy spent.
We've not seen this happen to this extent before.
No.
Look, there's an athlete moving the rope to the side to make the rope less slack, but that's just going to slide down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard to get the balance between difficulty between for men and women, elites and open. You know, if this is what the elites are going through, someone doing perhaps their first race.
Nice.
Oh, that did work for her, making the rope a bit tighter. It didn't work until the end.
Well, I mean, it worked for what she needed, but it just wasn't quite enough.
Nice try.
But I honestly expected the friction to not be there and the rope to just pull, slide, and cause a more
I
jarring.
absolutely did as well. Here
Yeah.
we go. The Women's Pro Series leaderboard. Coming in first place, Chris Rogowski, losing her perfect score, but hey, it doesn't really matter, does it?
Nope.
498. She has won the series. Followed by Jamie Horonopoulos. She was coming into this series in third place. She's now taken second. Rachel Waters in third. The remains of the results not updated yet because we've not actually had those women finish yet. So we're still seeing preliminary finish places. Unsure yet who will be taking fourth, fifth, sixth, etc. The payouts for the men and women are for the top 5 in the series. So those spaces have not yet been filled out. There is still money to be won. All right, so we are going to finish this broadcast here. Keep in touch with the OCR report on Instagram. We will have the results updated as they come through. You can join us and support us with doing these.
The OCR report Patreon?
Yeah, you can support us with these live broadcasts. We try and cover as many races as possible. Join the OCR report Patreon. Find us at Instagram at the OCR report, and please do support from as little as $5 a month so we can put on more of these broadcasts. Thank you so much, Dustin, for joining me here today.
Thank you, Fran.
Just a reminder, use the Savage code for 25% off Florida next year. Beautiful venue, great course. Thank you to Jason, our producer, who has produced this whole series and, in fact, every broadcast we put out.
And just to point out that discount code works for both of the Florida events in March and November.
Yes, but you don't have long to use it, only till the 23rd. And thank you, as always, to the Savage race team for having us here, and to every single rabbit that we've had running out there in this weather and doing their very, very best. And thank you for joining us.